Hi everybody, my name's Thomas Corbin and I'm a previous graduate of the mres program at Macquarie University. I really wanted to be there today with you to have a chat about my experiences in the program, but unfortunately something came up and I hope this video is an acceptable substitute. Now, I am a huge proponent of the mres program. I've completed myself HDR programs at other universities, well, namely Sydney University. I did my honours there. And I've also taught HDR level courses at other universities in Australia, in Victoria, which will remain nameless. But I have some experience at other universities, which I think gives me some credibility in terms of talking about why some programs are better than others and which ones are better suited to prepare you for PhD work and future academic work. Now, I'm assuming that most of you are interested in going on to do PhD and academic work, or at least I was. So that's the way I can talk about the program, because that was what I was mostly interested in. Now, in terms of that, I think there are two extremely important reasons why Macquarie mres program is so beneficial to people, and that is the Macquarie University Philosophy Department itself and the mres program. Both of which are extremely beneficial at fostering independent research and academic mindsets, I suppose. And I'll explain what I mean by that in a minute, but it's a very important part of HDR life that's not often focused on. So the department itself is extremely welcoming. It's very open to HDR students. It organises a lot of events. The HDR students organise a lot of events as well. So for example, next Tuesday evening, there's a seminar that's being run for HDR students. I think these happen every week, possibly even twice a week, now in lockdown. But there are also cave events and work in progress talks in the department, which HDR students are encouraged, very strongly encouraged, to come along and attend. There's not a strict barrier between PhD, HDR, and even faculty members in many regards about who can attend these things and who can get involved in them. And that's brilliant for students who need to understand what life beyond study is going to be like. If you're going through an mres program with the idea of going to PhD and then eventually becoming an academic or something down that path, then you really do want to understand what life's like in a department, what people actually do as researchers or as faculty members or as teachers or whatever the case may be. And Macquarie is really open and encouraging about allowing you the chance to do that. They're also really encouraging and very skilled in fostering your research education, making sure that you understand not just the best way to do research, but the best way to propagate research. One of the most valuable things I ever learned in my mres was how to write a research grant. I thought this was a bit silly when I first started it, but I tell you what, now 5 years later, I don't think it's silly. Because if you go down that pathway and you want to end up like people like Jenny and JP who are taking through today, then those are the kind of things you need to learn how to do. And most people learn on the fly. You don't have formal training in these things. Macquarie University takes you through those things and gives you the tools to understand how to do them well. And that really does prepare you in a fabulous way for PhD and onwards. And in terms of the PhD preparation, the mres program itself with the second year of thesis does prepare you in an outstanding way for the PhD. A lot of the time you find that people in their first year of PhD spend their year flailing around trying to figure out which way's up, what scholars matter, what literature exists, all those kind of things that you need to have for a foundation for a research thesis. In your mres, you're going to be developing that foundation, so when you start your PhD, you can hit the ground running. That gives you a massive advantage over people at other universities, people who don't go through that two-stage program. There are a couple of reasons why it matters. One is the quality of your thesis will be better. The other thing is you will have more time to do other academic pursuits, things like teaching. If I didn't do my mres program and develop that, I wouldn't have been able to do half as much teaching. I was also a research assistant during my PhD, and not only making money, but also gaining the experience to understand how to do good research and better research, how to make networks and communicate my ideas with other people, all the really valuable things that you need to be learning at some stage, and you don't want to be spending so much time playing catch up or trying to build that foundation later on. The mres program is brilliant at allowing you to do that. Now, in terms of the demonstrable effects of that, I suppose I don't really want to put myself forward as a demonstrable brilliant outcome, but I completed my PhD I can't remember, a few months ago. I think I technically graduated 2 days ago. Lockdown makes things a bit confusing, but I think the 18th of August was my graduation. I'm not entirely sure about that, but anyway, I've now completed a PhD. I've worked at three universities in Australia. I've also worked for both of the presenters today, Jenny and JP, and I'm still working with JP. And I think that the other people who I went through the program with are doing similarly well. For example, one of the people who I went through the program with, a good friend of mine, now has graduated. He submitted his thesis at the same time I did, graduated, and has already gotten a full-time ongoing position at a Dutch university in the Netherlands, which is a very prestigious research institution doing outstanding, world-leading research. So just from our very small cohort, I think there was 5 of us finished. I don't know what 2 of them are doing. 3 of them have their PhDs. I'm doing okay, and one of them is doing outstanding. So that's not a bad track record. So I think that for the reasons that I've stated just briefly, Macquarie University MRes program is outstanding, and I think the results of that do speak for itself. Now, if you do have any questions or you want to chat with me about anything you are thinking of but I didn't address, I'm going to ask Jenny to leave my email address, and do absolutely feel free to email me. I'm very, very happy to talk about any of this stuff. If you want to Zoom or anything like that, I'm happy to make time for that. So do feel free to do that. But otherwise, I do hope that you find the rest of the seminar or the previous seminar, wherever they put me, interesting and informative. And I do hope to be seeing you around campus in future years. Right, everyone. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.